audit them, the one who encourages you to audit them. The deadline is around the corner. Illinois auditors may, keyword may be disqualified. They may be disqualified. Oh, accountability angel, what's up, girl? You came right on time, man, because Santa Claus, he might disqualify all the auditors. I'm telling you, this is the tooth fairy. The tooth fairy came and whispered in my ear and told me Santa Claus is the one who might be disqualifying auditors. So that's good to hear. I'll put in a good word for you, accountability angel. I'll whisper, I'll tell Santa Claus, hey, angel, she's trying. I'm telling you, she's trying. Hey, Brendan Mitchell, Public Press is another Illinois auditor, up and coming. You guys should go out and look for him because he's on the good side of Santa Claus. I'm telling you, Santa whispered in his ear. Oh, wow. What's that all about? The commissioner. Tell me about that. Oh, that's cute. How do we have a few people in here but no thumbs up? Man, they're shadow banning me at the highest level. So like I said, auditors may be on the verge of becoming disqualified. The tooth fairy came and whispered in my ear. And like I said, I'm gonna have the Public Press said Santa give me a big medical bill. Gave me, oh, they gave you a big medical bill? Yeah, well, you gotta be out here. Volume low? Really? Let me turn my brightness up a little bit. So, Accountability Angel says apparently the clerk in that town is appointed by the commissioner. City clerk Jennifer of Oglesby was such a weirdo. She claimed all the info was online. It wasn't online or at the city hall. Good. All right, fine. Charged him with concealment. Charged him with felony fraud. Charged him with official misconduct. Charged him with breach of peace. Charged him with concealing a public record. Fine. All you gotta tell me, Angel, is what type of pen packets you want me to buy you. Red ink, blue ink, black ink. That's all you need to tell me to buy you a package of pens. So you could write your signature in red and write the violation in fucking blue. No problem. That's all you gotta tell me. And this is the reason why radicals like that is the reason why Accountability Angel, auditors may be disqualified by December 31st, Illinois auditors. You see, but Public Press, that's the mindset you got to get out of your head, my friend. You can't depend on attorneys. You gotta gain the knowledge. You know, that's why there is such thing as pro se litigants. Means you could, handle your own affair. Once you start thinking about finding a good attorney, they're bound by the bar. Their first duty is to please the courts and please the judge before their client. So you come second, maybe third. Now, if you handle your own affair, you're going to be number one at the top of the list. But this is I'm just putting in these words to encourage you to read the law, know the law, and handle your own affair. I'm just coming in here real quick to talk a couple words here, let this theory out real quick, and I wanted to marinate with all the Illinois auditors, man, because the key word is you may be disqualified by May 31st. I told you, the tooth fairy came and whispered in my ear, then Santa Claus came and whispered in my ear. All Santa Claus and the tooth fairy want to see is they want to see the Illinois auditors have the knowledge of checking for these things anytime they visit a government entity. So they don't have to be that victim mentality no more. So they are not the subject of the encounter, subject of the investigation. It's got to be a mind change. That's all it is. It's just a mind shift. That's it. Just wanted to come in and mention that good stuff here. Accountability Angel, I did receive your your email. Please show me the work that you have been doing, because I think that it's time for me to give you the new piece of document now. You know what I'm saying? All you had to be is a member for Auditor Shield one time, and now you're a lifetime member with me. What is the Skyzo? Skyzo? What do you mean by Skyzo? Schizo? So with that being said, like I said, folks, please take that into consideration, because I told you folks, the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus came and whispered in my ear, and they told me that schizophrenic. They told me, yeah, Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy came and whispered in my ear, and they told me if Illinois auditors, they're warning Illinois auditors, if they don't step their game up, the deadline is December 31st, 2025. If you make it into January 1st, 2026 without following those instructions or implementing those instructions, you may be disqualified as an auditor. I'm just telling you what the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus whispered in my ear. Okay, Accountability Angel says she tried to act like I was dumb and claimed that the zoning map in the back of the office was the block diagram. Right, they know no better, Accountability Angel. They know no better. Like it says in the Bible, man knows no better. What God meant by that is man and or woman. Hey, Jenny, what's cooking? So you see, this is what needs to be done. Therefore, we only have a limited amount of time, a little bit over a month and a half, for all Illinois auditors to reach out to me, because I'm in direct connection with the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus. I'm in direct connection with them. So I urge all Illinois auditors, all 20 of them, 25 of them, from the ones scattered in the South and the Central Illinois, all of them up north, even the ones here in Chicagoland, even the ones with 10 subscribers or 25 subscribers, reach out to me as soon as possible. So with that being said, like I said, this is what we need to do. We need to implement change. You got a month and a half to reach out to me. Santa Claus might tell me to declare you folks as disqualified. And what's going to end up happening is all 25 auditors are going to get together one of these days. We're going to go to a city hall that has an open conference table. We're going to sit down at their open conference table, and I'm going to bring a stick where I could point at the fucking TV screen. I'm going to point at the projector, and I'm going to be pointing at an organizational chart. I'm going to be pointing at $10 million. I'm going to show you folks, this is what we need. This is what I need to see. This is what I need to see. Santa Claus declared me to come speak this message. The Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus whispered in my ear. They told me to reach out to all the auditors. Deadline is December 31st. So with that being said, what we need to do is we need to get together all 20, 25 auditors in Illinois. You got to travel from the south, from the north, wherever you're at. And what we need to do is we need to get together and sit at a conference table at any one of these city halls that's currently, we just flip the light switch on, they're not using the table. We're going to sit down 20 auditors, and we're going to go over Section 4, Section 3.5, Section 1 of the FOIA Act, Section 11, Section 9, fees under Section 7 and 6, or exemptions under 7. We're going to go over a few basic things with the Illinois Freedom of Information Act. And I'm going to be passing out binders. I'm going to have binders for free, hard binders that I'm going to hand to the auditors. So this, yeah, I'm putting in some a slight, metaphor or funny comedy in here a little bit from the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus, whatever. But the real message still stands firm, is that we need to get these auditors on track. I already have a boy and a girl out there auditing. I have Accountability Angel and Public Press out there already auditing right now, checking for Section 4. That's good, but it's not good enough. We need more boys and girls out there auditing the real way, the right way. So the Tooth Fairy, like I said, whispered in my ear, along with Santa Claus, whispered in my ear. The deadline is December 31st. We currently have 78 people in here watching. And with that being said, I'm going to train the auditors, me in the effort of Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy. We are going to train these Illinois auditors. They can keep auditing the way they audit right now, no problem. Don't switch that up at all. However, it's a mandatory requirement. It's a mandatory requirement that now, on starting 2026, first day, it's a mandatory requirement that all Illinois auditors inquire in the money. Where is the money? This is what needs to be the topic of the auditor. Where is the money? That being said, each and every single auditor in Illinois needs to point that stick that you see on the screen to the 10, 15, 20, 30 million dollars that they see per public body, per agency. There's 15 to 20,000 addresses that need to be addressed. This is what I need here. This is what I need here. This is what Santa Claus came and whispered in my ear with the Tooth Fairy. And he's giving me a warning. Bag This says, thank you, bro, for teaching me everything I know. No more illegal detainments. Hey, Bag This, thank you so much, big player. Nonsense says, everyone should approach Congress members and ask them if they would be open to a personal audit of their finance. Watch them squirm and attack you. Oh wow, Nonsense. Yeah, you gotta shoot me some information about that. That's real good work, man. Congress, you know who Congress are. They are most of them are treasonist. They're committing treason, right? But we'll talk about that at a later topic. Right now the topic is I'm urging, this is a warning to all Illinois auditors, all 25, 30 auditors. I'm urging, and this is a warning. The Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus came and whispered in my ear and told you folks got a deadline. December 31st is the cutoff deadline. If you folks do not have your notebook, your binder at that time, ready to start auditing in the new year, implementing this change, I'm sorry to tell you, but you might be let go. You might be let go. You might continue to be the victim. This strategy right here is going to, once we get together on a conference table and we sit down, 10 to 20, 30 boys, 30 auditors, a couple female auditors there, right? Once we sit down and we go over these and have a couple Q&As, and everybody receives a binder. I'm gonna have to go buy a cartridge of ink. I'm gonna print out all these binders for the people. I have the binders already, the actual hard black binders, white binder, whatever, plastic. I have those ready. I just gotta buy me one more cartridge of ink so I can print out all the. I'm gonna have to print out 2 reams. I'm gonna have to print out about 1,000 pages, right? And that's gonna feed about 15 to 20 binders. So these binders, I plan on giving these binders out for free to the Illinois auditors when we select the. We only got a month and a half, and this is when we select the city hall that we're gonna go into, and we're gonna use their conference table for free. We're gonna use their lights for the building for about 2 hours for free. We're gonna flip their light switch on, and we're gonna use their electricity for free for 2 hours. Okay. Public press, he's up and coming. He used to work for, from what I'm aware of, what he said on his live stream is that he used to work for government. So he knows the little intricacies behind closed doors. And he's willing to transition some of that into his auditing, implement some of that into his auditing. So I believe every Illinois auditor has something that we could all learn from, right? And when we do get together and we sit at that conference table, whether it be from now till we decide what date, we only got a month and a half, we all could learn from each other. We'll all exchange information. We'll all get up together and really implement this change moving forward in 2026 so we could save the station. First thing we need to do is we need to find out, we need to know, where is the money? Where is the money with each local government agency? Where is the money? Where is the rights of the people being acknowledged and the duties and obligations of the government public employees? Yep. And this notice of finding, this is going to be the real frightening thing. Halloween is over. I shouldn't talk about frightening stuff no more, but we're going to use that frightening theme to roll over into Thanksgiving, because Halloween, sometimes your Halloween decoration could be rolled over into Thanksgiving decoration. So no problem. We could still use that frightening theme since we have not reached Thanksgiving yet. However, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be very frightening. It's going to be very scary. Once all auditors in Illinois, the majority of them, start implementing the notice of finding. And the notice of finding, that's just for in-person auditing. Me and my team are also going to develop an ENOF, an electronic notice of finding, for these government agencies that are not even complying with Section 4 online. It'll take me to claim a lazy day. I would declare a lazy day one day, and I would call government agencies in 6 hours. I call 100 government agencies in Illinois just to verify and confirm from my office that they are not complying with Section 4 online, where they always lie and say, it's online, it's online, it's online. Okay, good. I'm going to spend 5 hours one day going over 100 agencies to confirm if their work is online or not. If they are not having their shit displayed online, then I'm going to issue them an ENOF. That's an electronic notice of finding. Okay, the ENOF, that's for electronic. The NOF, notice of finding, that's for in person. Right? So this is what I'm urging you, because Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy whispered in my ear, and he's telling me to urge these auditors. They're on a path right now. They're on a path of a decline. They're on a path of a decline. Why? Because they're always, and they're going to continue to be labeled as victims. No problem. The auditors are going to continue moving past 2026. If they don't do what the Tooth Fairy and what Santa Claus is urging them to do, they are on the verge of being disqualified. Second, they will continue to explain themselves and be victims anytime there's a police interaction. This is not something the Tooth Fairy nor Santa Claus nor I want to see moving forward in 2026. I no longer want to see any Illinois auditor, I'm discriminating, only Illinois auditor, biased, shall in 2026 shall no longer be the victim or explain himself, right? Moving forward, anytime there's a police involvement, the auditor is to point his finger at either a police officer or the government employee and claim that they are the ones who are in breach of peace, they are the ones who are violating the law, they are the subject of the investigation. Until we start doing this, implementing this type of change, and you folks honor the word of Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy, you folks are going to remain and be victim. No problem. Your view, everything is going to be disqualified. I'm just telling you, this is what the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus came and whispered in my ear. So you guys see the image on the screen. Anytime moving forward, the deadline is around the corner. Anytime moving forward, 2026, from the first day, you are to walk into a government agency and you are to inquire how much money is there and how much money is being worked with. You are to inquire and you are to report back the approximate number of full-time and part-time employees. You are to inquire and report back the mission statement, the purpose of each public body that you are at. Yeah, well, Tribe, he's one of my team members. Tribe, he is not in Illinois currently. He's out of the state of Illinois as of right now. So once we do have this gathering at a conference table of 20 plus 5 auditors in Illinois, he might be on electronic call. He might be on standby because his input is valuable. So this is 2 things that we might be discussing at that time: ENOF, electronic notice of finding, and in-person notice of findings. But beyond all that, auditors, I urge you, this is a warning. For the 10th time, I'm telling you, the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus whispered in my ear, and they told me, you folks have a potential of being disqualified. The deadline is December 31st. So with that being said, we got about a month and a half. Gather up all the boys and girls from Illinois auditors, 20, 25, 30 auditors. We're going to meet up somewhere right here in Cook County or somewhere in the center of Illinois, somewhere convenient to all. We're going to go sit down and we're going to go and speak. We're going to have to sit down there for 2-3 hours at a conference table. We're going to flip the light switch on, and I'm going to be distributing auditing binders. You don't have to carry the binder. You don't have to carry the binder with you, but you have to read through the binder so you can have this data in your mind. Hey, 7 Cities kid, well, disqualified from auditing. This is what the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus is telling me, my friend, 7 Cities. The Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus, you got to rewind the tape, my friend. I've been on here for about 30 minutes, 25 minutes. Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy told me, they whispered in my ear, and they told me, Illinois, only Illinois First Amendment auditors will be disqualified. This means that if they are declared disqualified past that threshold, this means that they might garnish victimhood. They might be subject to victimhood. Okay, this is one of the things that it could mean, that they might be garnished to victimhood. All auditors, if they decline to partake and step their game up before the end of the month, before the end of the new year, this means that they have a possibility of carrying on a victimhood mentality moving forward. Public Press says Audit Winter Summit. I'm telling you fucking boys and girls, it's going to be very frightening. It's going to be very frightening. We're going to carry Halloween, it's over, into the Thanksgiving. And it's going to be frightening for devil himself, for Satan himself. Whether Satan be in man flesh, Satan, beating you down and arresting you for standing up for your right, that may be Satan. Satan is the one who goes against what's right, right? So Satan basically here's what will happen. Satan will take in. Let me not say too much. Just think about Satan as the tyrant. Satan is the devil. You don't want Satan, the devil, or the tyrant controlling your mind, making you explain yourself and act like you are the problem. This is what's gonna happen to you if you don't partake and switch your mind around. Right? Satan will get all Satan will get over on you. And these are straight words from the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus. They came whispering in my ear. Guys, I'm saying this as a metaphor, as like a little comedic touch to it, just so people could fucking realize that, hey, all I'm asking people to do is inform themselves with their state laws. Become the best that you could be, like the army says, before they went bisexual. So be straight, be at it straight, have a straight mind, have a straight, clear conscience understanding about the power of the Illinois Constitution, the Illinois Freedom of Information Act, and the United States Constitution. Be informed about all these things. Whether a tooth fairy whispered in my ear or Santa Claus whispered in my ear at the same time or separately, the message still stands. Put the jokes to the side, put the games to the side. Stop being victims. Stop explaining yourselves when police show up. I don't want to see that no more. You only got a month and a half to do that. Keep doing that for a month and a half. After that, like I said, you may be disqualified per Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy, the one who encourages you to audit them.